just a minute, but some apparent infighting first at the highest levels of the White House, with the president's new communications director seeming to suggest White House Chief of Staff Reince Priebus had a hand in leaking his financial disclosures. Now, Anthony Scaramucci says he's going to the FBI. This bizarre episode began with a cryptic tweet from Scaramucci. In light of the leak of my financial disclosure info, which is a felony, I will be contacting the FBI and the Justice Department. Hashtag swamp, and he tagged in that tweet Reince Priebus, the Chief of Staff.
Now, the reference to Priebus is not clear, but CNN contributor Ryan Lizza tweeted this. In case there's any ambiguity in his tweet, I can confirm that Scaramucci wants the FBI to investigate Reince for leaking. All this coming after a Politico story that listed millions in earnings and salary from Scaramucci's ownership stake in Skybridge before he left to go to the Export-Import Bank in June. It's not entirely clear whether Politico got the document by leak or by public record, by Freedom of Information request. I mean, in an interview taped before all this happened, Scaramucci said this.
I know I'm in a cesspool called Washington, or a swamp called Washington, so it'll be virtually impossible to get rid of every leak, but I think we can take dramatic steps to get rid of leaks. Now, one of the big problems here that I'm discovering in the comms team is that senior people are really the guys doing the leaking, and they ask junior people to leak for them. And so I'm very proud to be reporting directly to the president so that I can hermetically seal off the comms team from this sort of nonsense.
That true. This response from the DOJ. We have seen an astonishing increase in the number of leaks of classified national security information in recent months. We agree with Anthony that the staggering number of leaks are undermining the ability of our government to function and to protect this country.
After all this went down, Scaramucci deleted his initial tweet and sent out this one. Wrong. Tweet was public notice to leakers that all senior administration officials are helping to end illegal leaks. And again, he tagged Priebus. So we reached out to Ryan Lizza, and he stands by his reporting that Scaramucci does want Priebus investigated.
All right, let's bring in Tal Kopin, CNN digital politics reporter. She is in our Washington bureau.
Morning.
Good morning to you, Tal. All right, all these tweets, all this mess, what does it say about the level of paranoia, about the communications problems that still exist, even though Anthony Scaramucci is here to clean up just that?
Yeah, the level of paranoia seems to be strong within the White House. And, you know, it seems almost silly to talk about the way an administration would normally function, because I think it's well established that this administration doesn't necessarily feel bound by what's considered normal. But, you know, a communications director position in the White House is often designed to keep the administration out of the news unless they want to be in the news and want to be in the news for policy decisions. That is not how this Trump communications department is operating. And you see that from Scaramucci, and he's channeling Trump himself. You know, if you feel on defense, go on offense. And so they're going on attack on this problem of leaks, even though it's not entirely clear what they're referring to. Certainly there have been some, for example, about, you know, the private contents of Trump's meetings with foreign officials, that perhaps it's understandable that they're a little bit concerned about that getting out. But then there are some that are just, you know, that the White House is working on a piece of legislation, which often a comm shop intentionally wants out there. So it's a really broad brush, but it's certainly a completely different communication strategy than what we're used to seeing from a White House.